Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. I am Elisabetta, an Italian watercolor artist, and today we are unboxing, swatching and reviewing this Daniel Smith watercolor set. I'm very excited because here in Italy it's not easy to find Daniel Smith, so I'm completely excited and I have very high expectations. I apologize for my voice, but I have been sick lately and I have this pitch of voice which is not actually mine, but I'm still a bit sick. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, first of all, this is an incredible set because it comes with a set of 24, but there is a bonus free metal box to complete your collection, and I think this is really a sign of genius for watercolor, because what people really like to do, people like me, is start with a set and then completing it with more paints that you carefully pick. So let's open it. The explanation are in 3 languages. Here they are in English, in French and in German. I speak these 2 languages, not really German, a little, but not much. And it's made in Seattle, so it's the original American product. It's manufactured in USA. And I have some tubes already from Daniel Smith and I absolutely adore them, so can't wait to open and swatch this. I can't wait to open and swatch this. Let's open it. I don't want to ruin it. I will use some scissors. Okay. So, you see there is the bonus tin box. It's fantastic. Thank you, Daniel Smith. This is so high quality, so sturdy. Look at this. 24 half pans, empty, so sturdy, such high quality compared to the empty tins that you buy on the market. This is so high quality. Oh, I'm in awe. And this is, wow, these are my paints. Could have taken a knife actually. It says that color hand are poured, remplis à la main, they're hand poured, and I love hand poured colors better than extruded. I think that there is an obvious difference. There is some, I don't know, some organic, you know, paint is organic, so there are some crumbles from paint, but that's a sign of handmade. And here are my colors that I wanted for such a long time. What a set. Okay. Oh, I don't even have to unbox this. It's already ready. And okay, let's start swatching. I have this fantastic overlay sleeve with all the pigment indication. Okay, I'll be back in a minute with my watercolor paper. Okay, so I don't think I will re-wet my palette. I will see how easily they re-wet on their own. I'm absolutely happy to swatch these colors. I have wanted them for such a long time. To be absolutely honest, I bought this box a few months ago because there was a Daniel Smith sale. It was an absolute bargain, but I waited to have the right moment to do it, and it was my birthday not long ago, and I think I have the right to swatch this now, and let's start. Okay, we start with Buff Titanium, which is a color that I like very much. I have a few versions of Buff Titanium. I have from A. Gallo, the Italian handmade, and by Van Gogh, and this is wonderful. It's quite opaque because it is a PW6 one pigment, which is titanium white, and it is like a slightly muted light beige white, ideal for clouds, for instance. Love it. Then we go to Ansa Yellow. This is so easy to re-wet. Look at this. I'm not, absolutely not pre-wetting this, but this is typical of hand-poured colors. So easy, so easy. It's dry and just re-wet so easily. And this is Hansa Light PY3. It's a slightly opaque, it's a semi-opaque color, and I do appreciate the fact that there is Hansa yellow and not cadmium yellow, because I'm not a great fan of cadmium colors, not because they're toxic, because I think that in such a small quantity, if you don't eat them, they're not toxic, but because they are so opaque, and yellows are mostly opaques, except some yellows, but in this case, this is perfectly acceptable. It's very vibrant and clean. Look at this. So it's Hansa Yellow Light. Then we have one of my go-to colors, and I don't have this version by Daniel Smith. So for me, it's the first time I tried. I have it from Schmink and from Sennelier. Let's try the Daniel Smith. Oh, this is adorable. I know that the original pigment, the genuine pigment, is discontinued, but this is PO48, which is quinacridone burnt orange, and PY 150, which is nickel azo yellow, my favorite yellow. And I will add some darker mustard here. Look at this. I want to make this slide to see the difference from mustard, which is brownish, to more diluted value, which becomes more transparent and yellow. Quinacridone colors were originally conceived for cars. They're very pure, they're very transparent. I love them. They're not granulating at all, but look at this. Oh, I'm so happy I have this Daniel Smith. Let's go to Hansa Yellow Dip, which is PY65, and it is a color that it's a most common replacement for cadmium yellow, this PY65, and it's a wonderful, warm, deep yellow, like a Indian yellow, for instance, and it's slightly orangey, and I love it. It's really nice. And this paper I'm swatching on is no good at all, but the flow is wonderful. I can tell you, the flow is wonderful, and this paper is not helping at all, but this paint behaves so well. Congratulations. Now, we go to Pyro Scarlet. Pyro Scarlet, it's a semi-opaque, warm red. It's a primary red, not to be used as it is, but once again, it's a perfect substitute for cadmium red, if you don't want to use cadmium colors. And it is less opaque than cadmium red. It's semi-opaque. It's very vibrant, and Look at this. I'm sure that in mixes it's wonderful. I have just published a video about the possible replacements of for alizarin crimson, which is fugitive, and this is very vibrant replacement. I like to see it side by side with my choices, like with the Winsor & Newton, but this is made with PR177, PV19, which is quinacridone violet, quinacridone rose, and PR149, and these are the classic replacements for alizarin crimson, so it's a good choice. Then we go to quinacridone rose, PV19. You know that PV19, it's a very versatile pigment. It can be violet, it can be rose. In this case, it's a vibrant magenta. And being a quinacridone color, it's completely transparent, non-granulating. Beautiful. This is perfect for florals, but also you can use it for muting your greens, for instance, because it's a single pigment. I wouldn't use the alizarin crimson, which has 3 pigments, but if you want to mix a rose, a cooler red, you can use this quinacridone rose, this magenta. You can use it for skin tone, mixed with yellow ochres. You can use it for toning down your greens. It's perfect. Then we go to blues, and I am very specific about my blues. And this is ultramarine. Of course, the pigment is the genuine one. It's PB29. Usually it's very granulating. Let's see what it is. Already see the granulation. Very granulating, very vibrant. Very nice when diluted in sky, or you can darken it with a neutral tint, and you can make yellows out of it. Very nice, completely transparent, granulating. Now we go to cerulean. Cerulean, for me, it's a bit of a lottery, because in most brands I don't like it. And this is PB36, which is the genuine cerulean. No, I'm sorry, this is cobalt, cobalt oxide. It's not the genuine cerulean. And it is a nice pigment. It is a very nice pigment. And look at this. It's very nice even for sea. You can use it for sky, but I see it for sea as well. Very, very vibrant. And it says it's semi-opaque, but I see quite transparent. Then we go to phthalo blue green shade. And it is PB15 semicolon 3, and it is this primary cyan blue that you can use, of course, for a mix, but also for tropical sky. I like it. Look at how deep it is. It's primary blue, basically. Then we go to cobalt turquoise. They also have a teal that is PG50. That some brands call cobalt turquoise. This is made with PB36, and it's a darker version, and it's very granulating. It's really nice. You see, it's the same, it's cobalt oxide, it's the same pigment of this chromium cerulean blue, and completely different result, but strongly granulating, which I like very, very much. This is ideal to mix wonderful grays, for instance, with quinacridone rose. Let's go to phthalo green blue shade, and it is the last of this row. This should be a very cool green. This is so pigmented, it's absolutely ridiculous, very transparent. And of course you don't use this as it is, but as a mixing green. It's wonderful. You can mute it with quinacridone rose or quinacridone gold, or you can mute it with some browns, and you will obtain wonderful greens. Now, I have very high expectation of Sap Green, because Sap Green has a different formula for each brand. This is PO48, which is quinacridone burnt orange, PG7, phthalo green, and PY 150, which is my favorite yellow. It's a pure transparent nickel azo yellow. And the result is wonderful convenience green that you can absolutely use straight from the pan. Adorable, muted, fantastic. Imagine for trees, for instance. Then a color that I already have, and it is undersea green. This is a dark muted green that you can use, of course, for sea, but very much for foliage, for the darker side of foliage. It's done with the PB29 ultramarine, PO48 and PY50. So the difference between these two is that undersea green replaces ultramarine blue to phthalo green, so it's darker. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not undersea green, this is Cerulean green. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So this is Cerulean green, which is a black, a greenish black. I'm sorry, but forget what I said. Okay, I'm swatching, I have swatched this, but it is Cerulean green. And this is, now we go to undersea. This is undersea. And this is going to be Cerulean. So let's swatch now undersea green. Yes, what I said is that I was swatching, I said, it's not the undersea green that I remember, this is too dark, but it is a muted, a darker version of Sap Green. Maybe they're a bit similar to have both in the same palette, the undersea and the Sap. They could have picked one of the two, but it's a lovely green undersea. It's a darker but very muted green. And Cerulean, it's a variety of black. It's PBK31 with a greenish undertone, and it's perfect for shadow forest, for the dark foliage in shadow, away from the sunshine. And then we go to earth tones that I like so much, and we start with raw sienna light. Raw sienna light in this case is PY42, which is one of the pigments commonly used for yellow ochre, and it is very similar to a yellow ochre. It's a semi-opaque, and it's very sunny and bright and yellow. I like it very much. So bright. Then we have yellow ochre, and for yellow ochre they have PY43, but the specificity, the peculiarity of yellow ochre in Daniel Smith is that it is a completely transparent version of yellow ochre. Look at this. It's not very vibrant, it's muted, but it's transparent. And what really sometimes puts me off of yellow ochre, it's the fact that it is opaque. And this one from Daniel Smith is transparent. So I admit that between these two, I would pick the raw sienna light. Let's go now to another PY43, which is brown ochre or goethite. I hope I'm not mispronouncing it. Goethite, brown ochre. And I've always seen it in videos, but never swatched it, never had it. Brown ochre. It's like a gold ochre. It's a light, quite transparent, although it says it's semi-opaque. It's very lovely color. Okay, it's a light brown, strongly granulating, and I like it. That looks like a gold ochre. Then we have Indian red. You know that Indian red is one of my favorite versions of PR101. It's a colder version of this pigment. When it's warmer, it's called English or Venetian red, or it can be even treated in transparent as a burnt sienna. In this case, it is very opaque, absolutely completely opaque. It's cooler, and it is called Indian red. Indian red. It's very nice when mixed with blue, for instance, for skies. Okay, now one of my favorite colors, which is quinacridone burnt orange. I have never ever tried this Daniel Smith version. I have the Rembrandt version. I should use them side by side, but I love the Rembrandt version. I think I don't see a lot of the difference like this. This is wonderful, but I also like my Rembrandt version. But this is absolutely a must-have in a palette. It's absolutely wonderful. Look at this. I love quinacridone colors. I have a soft spot for them. Look how beautiful it is. It's on fire. Then burnt sienna. For burnt sienna, they used my favorite version of burnt sienna, which is PBR7, because some brands like Winsor & Newton use PR101, and you have a more orangey version. Here you have a more classic hazelnut version of burnt sienna, and I'm sure that it's gonna give great results when mixed or used on its own. Then burnt amber, burnt amber, burnt amber, still a PBR7. It's usually a warm brown, a brown that I like very much. It's a chestnut brown. Look at this, I like it. It's really nice. Love this version. This paint has an incredible flow on paper. I love it. I repeat myself, but this paper is really terrible. But I swatch all my paint on this paper, so they have all the same difficulties. But look at the flow, is perfect. No cauliflower, no. Then raw amber. Raw amber is never one of my favorite colors because it's a cooler brown. But for trees, for instance, it can be useful. It's always quite transparent and kind of weak, but you can reinforce it here in Mastone because it's so pigmented. Daniel Smith. And last but not least, convenience gray, which is Jane's gray. Jane's gray, it's a gray that I usually mix by myself, and it's made by ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, PBR7. And of course it's strongly granulating because there is ultramarine blue. I would have preferred maybe a Payne's grey here, but this is also very nice grey, very useful for darks. But see, a grey that I always mix by myself. While my paint's dry, I think I will draw some rainbow just to see how they behave when you mix them. So I will probably try some yellow ochre. Actually, this is the goethita. I'll go with some pure goethita. And then I will mix some muted colors, so I will experiment some mixes. Okay, these are my rainbows, just an example of what you can obtain mixing these colors. They're so pure, they're so beautiful that you get these fantastic muted values, muted tones. This is exactly what I wanted to obtain with my rainbows. And I love muted tones, I love earthy tones, so this is what I went for, and I'm really happy about the result. I have used a lot of quinacridone rose, quinacridone gold, quinacridone orange, together with phthalo green and alizarin crimson, and I've also used some yellow ochre. Look at this, really nice. First of all, I have this gut comment, not very rational, that I am completely in love with this set. I love the abundance of earthy tones, maybe too many browns, too many ochres, but for me it's a feast, really. And the greens are wonderfully muted, that you can use them straight from the palette, except for the phthalo green that is so pigmented, so pure that you can mix it and obtain, look at this, I have used phthalo green here. You can mix it and get a range of muted, delicate tones. The colors are all very pigmented, very vibrant, with a wonderful flow on paper. The choice of color is very unusual because you don't get the standard colors that you get in any set. Of course, some colors are missing, like I'm missing some indigo colors that I use a lot. I'm missing Payne's gray. I'm missing a cobalt blue. But it compensates with some unusual paint that you very seldom find in standard set, in pre-made, ready-made set like Queen Gold or Cobalt Turquoise. So I have this second set, the empty box, that I can fill with the more standard colors. But what a surprise to find Cerulean green, undersea green, Cobalt Turquoise, quinacridone gold, or Indian red. These are colors that you never find in a ready-made set of 24. So my suggestion is that the price was really great. I'll put a link for my store where I bought it, and sometimes you can find it at very good prices. They make quite often good discounts, and I think they ship internationally, at least in Europe. I'm absolutely in awe of this set, and you will see me painting with this a lot. I have nothing, not one single point against this set. So now I would like to see your experience with Daniel Smith. What colors do you think you are missing? And if you have this set, what is your experience? Please let me know what colors I should buy to integrate this starting set. I already have some ideas, but I'd love to know your comments. And that's all for now. I would be very happy if you leave your comments, if you like, and subscribe so that my channel can keep growing. Thank you so much, and ciao from Italy. Ciao, bye bye.